Welcome to A Canadian Investing in the U.S., a podcast and YouTube channel focused on Canadians buying real estate with host Glenn Sutherland.
Welcome to a new episode of A Canadian Investing in the U.S. with Glenn Sutherland. This week my guest is Scott Kidd. Scott, you want to start off by just giving everybody a bit of an introduction to yourself?
Sure. Well, thank you very much for taking the time and to speak with me. I've been a multifamily investor for the last 5 years. So I've been investing in real estate since about 2002. I've been a yacht captain for the last 20 plus years. Been on yachts for 25 years, and I started in single family like a lot of people do. Just thought I'd buy another house.
Yeah.
Every so often, and just kind of have that as another cushion along with my retirement and stuff. But then I learned about multifamily real estate from a friend of mine. He had bought and sold a 46 unit apartment building, and I asked him, I said, well, you can do that. And he goes, yeah, you can do it. I did it. So yeah, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
So why not? And that kind of started my journey about 5 years ago. And since then moved into syndications and stuff. And I had originally I always had something on the side, like a side hustle or some type of business, because the yachts as a profession can be very unstable, can be here today, gone today, from hero to zero on the same day. The people we work for, their business could take a dip, they get a divorce, they're just not interested in the boats anymore or something, so they put it up for sale. And the boats are toys, so they're the first things to go, especially when in an economic.
Maybe backtrack there a little bit. You said
Yeah.
the boat business. Are you talking about captaining a boat? Or are you talking about selling boats? Like maybe go into that.
Captain of a boat as crew in general. Brokerage and stuff is a big part of it. We all work together.
Yeah.
With those kind of things, and it can be very unstable. When there were a lot of boats in the global financial crisis around 2008 that just got laid up and were basically mothballed until things kind of recovered a few years later.
Yeah. Okay. So you started off, maybe I'm going to recap that a little bit. You started off with like captaining boats, and then you did some single family houses, and then you got into doing syndications.
Yes.
How did that kind of flow? Do you find any hiccups just going from one to the other? Do you find even just changing asset classes, the perception of yourself as you were going through that, or what people maybe I'll backtrack a little bit. When people like, 'cause I started syndicating deals as well, and a lot of times people they put you in a box, like they're like, oh, that's the guy that buys a lot of single family houses, right? Did you get stuck in a similar situation like that?
Well, when I was doing the single family homes, it was just kind of me by myself. And you can do single family homes up to a certain point, all kind of by yourself. It's kind of a one man thing. But with syndications and apartments and commercial real estate in general, it's a team sport. It's similar to what we do on the boats. It takes a team to move everything and get everything going. That was kind of a steep learning curve. It wasn't on the business side of, like, as far as the management and people part, because I've been doing that a lot, and not only on the boats but on other businesses that I was in IT before, where it's a people business, and you want to have a great team around you. But if you want to scale in single family, it's the same thing. You have to have a team to do it, because once you get over a certain amount of properties, it becomes unmanageable by yourself. But what I've found moving into syndications and apartments and stuff, when you say you're a real estate investor, people generally assume that you're flipping houses or buying and selling houses, or you're selling houses, because I get that question a lot. So you have your broker's license and stuff like that, and I tell them, no, I'm an investor. First, I don't have a huge sales background or anything, so that would be like starting over, and that's creating another job for myself. I want to be the investor. Eventually, my move is to be, the majority of my portfolio passive investment in syndications or real estate, other types of real estate that or with friends and family, people I know that I know, like, and trust, that I know there's just going to be consistent income.
Yeah, I hear that a lot, even as uh, even myself. Like you go and build a big portfolio. That's how I started with single family houses, a whole bunch of them, and then you realize how exhausting it is. It's almost a full-time job
Yeah, it
to
is
manage the whole thing, and you're
more
like,
than full time.
yeah, they convert this to be more passive. Even if you wanted to keep those houses, it's like you get to a point where you got to hire people and
Yeah,
hire your own staff. Even if, like for me, I have external property management, but I end up having to bring in your own team, like even just
yeah.
to manage the managers.
Yeah, you manage the managers, and that becomes work. So there's no real fully passive way to do it. I mean, unless you're completely invested in real estate funds or, some syndications and stuff, but you still got to go to the meetings. You still have to go and see what's going on. You still have to put some work into it and ask the right questions, because if you don't watch it, it'll go away.
Yeah, yeah, no, that is a thing that I have seen is some people just don't watch the property managers. They don't watch the team members, and
Yeah,
they're surprised when stuff didn't go the way they expected it to go. Um,
yeah.
Maybe like talk about your team or what was different between doing like the single family because you're going to need a lot of common team members in that. But you're also going to need some different team members in order to be able to buy something bigger.
Well, definitely, and when I first started with the apartments, it was a lot of joint ventures where, we were partnering on smaller multifamily apartments. I still have one that I'm involved with because joint ventures are active, but it's only a few amount of partners, and we all kind of have a shared workload. Fortunately, one of the partners in that deal has a property management company, and she's very good at it. And she keeps us in the loop with everything. And if she needs anything from us, she says, hey, we have to source, the plumber and this and that, or like I sourced the funding and the roofer and stuff. We put a roof on a couple of years ago. So I managed that part of the project, and it's only a few hours away from me. So if something needs to happen when I'm at home, I can run up there and do some parts of it. So that's very active. But on the syndication side, I've kind of switched gears to where I'm active in raising capital and sourcing debt and equity for the bigger syndications, because I can do that while I'm on the boat as well, because
Yeah.
I'm 6 weeks on, 6 weeks off. So I can segment my time a little more and kind of help do what I can do to help close the deals and also help manage the deals on the back end. If things need to be done, help manage, do the asset management, look at the numbers and meet with the, property managers and stuff online, see where we can, the rest of the team, where we can, you know, basically be more efficient with the management of the property.
And so if you're on a boat for 6 months or sorry, 6 weeks at a time, um, I'm assuming that there's some of your roles that you still have responsibilities while you're on the boat. Is there like part of your team that sort of backs you up while you're on the boat, or do you just how does that look? Hello, everybody. Thanks for listening to the podcast. I just wanted to let you know that I've created a new coaching program. I believe the new coaching program has way more value than any of the programs that have even existed in the past. What we've done is pre-recorded all the lessons so that you can work through it at your own pace, which is pretty cool. And then we're going to meet up on a regular basis to answer the questions, do deal analysis, and actually spend our time together working on things instead of spending our time learning things. I think this will make a seamless transition to buying in the United States and will help you solve a lot of your problems. If this is of interest to you, go to glensutherland.com/coaching. I hope to help you guys invest in the United States, and I hope we provide as much value as possible. Back to the podcast.
Well, for me, I get up pretty early, so I do, a couple hours in the morning, and field some calls in the afternoons or lunchtime, that kind of thing, because it is a full-time job, and I have to be present with the crew and everybody that's there, because it wouldn't be fair to them if I was, just solely doing that. But as a captain, it's more of I'm not as much of a micromanager. I get in there where I need to help fill the gaps, because it's really important that the team knows that you're there to help them, because the team, without a good team, and a good leader, we're not going to go anywhere. And if they feel like they're out on their own, then the team starts to suffer a little bit, But it just kind of has to be a dynamic schedule. Sometimes we're really busy on the boat, and sometimes, but I love what I do on the boats, and I love what I do with real estate. So it's getting to the point now where it's not really so much like work, because I like doing it, and I like meeting new people all the time. It's opened up a lot of opportunities to meet people like yourself and other people that are doing, hey, I never thought of that, and it's, we all kind of feed off of each other, and it's just been a great experience, and it keeps getting better.
Awesome. Do you find like that? Was there any like skills that were transferable from being like a captain? I'm guessing you're running a team and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just sort of spitballing there. Is there, I usually find even when some people have previous careers or even current careers that are completely different, sometimes there's some sort of alignment or there's some sort of skill or transferable
Pretty
skills.
much, pretty much all of the people's skills are transferable, and finding the right, aligning yourself with the right partners, aligning yourself with the right crew. You want to get people you're compatible with, because great partners are going to carry you far. There's that saying that I say over and over again is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together, because it really works that way. Because if you have one team member that's not in alignment, that can really, really mess up the whole works, and other things that transfer, like we're managing the asset, the yacht. So we're negotiating contracts, we're, negotiating salaries, we're having team meetings that, we're trying to grow, and, focusing on the same alignment, same common goal. So all those things are very similar, and the logistics of it is, with the yachts, is that the thing that I tell people is that our timeline is yesterday, because a lot of times if you're working for a certain billionaire, by the time he's done with the question, he wants you already have solved the problem. So our rapid, quick, that has helped a lot, especially in the syndication space, because a lot of times to get things done, you have to move quickly and efficiently to get to the closing, to get, to, solve a problem, because we solve problems all day long on the yachts, and it's the same thing in the syndication or real estate, because us as entrepreneurs and business owners, that's what we do, is solve problems.
I'm just like going in my mind just wanders as I listen to you. But like
Okay.
it completely just thinking about ideas. Like if you're familiar with syndicating a deal and you're familiar with boats, have you ever thought about putting it together, like to just buy one of these like, multi-million-dollar boats and syndicate like the raising of the money and then you rent it out to these billionaires? Or I'm just maybe I'm going down
I
a crazy
would, except
path.
except for the your it sounds great on paper that when you hear how much these boats are chartered for,
Yeah.
but after you use them as more than a certain amount, the carrying costs far exceed the amount of money you would make. So, and it's also a luxury. You'd be better with like a luxury home, or like the short-term rentals. Those, the thing is also, with the boat, you have to deal with the sea and the sun, and if you use it more, with the high end, you know, equipment and everything else just gets beat up so quickly, and the cost to repair and maintenance and fix always
That
exceeds.
makes a lot of sense.
Unless you take out, I mean, I've seen some guys be kind of successful with the smaller boats, where they take out everything that is kind of really high end and expensive, and they use stuff that's really durable, and then okay, and then they're doing day trips. They're not doing the term charters that we do, that are like a week to 2 weeks and stuff like that. But I know the catamarans as well do very well as well, because they don't cost very much to run.
Yeah. Okay. It was just something that popped in my head. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, you could syndicate almost anything, right? I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
you can. If you got the investors and you got the right plan, you could do it.
yeah, yeah. No, it's just an interesting idea, and I'm like, the same sort of thing. You're now talking about like, not an automobile, but kind of an automobile with a boat, right? Where it's
Yeah.
more depreciating, more maintenance. Well,
Yeah, and
there could be a
it's
lot of
a
maintenance in buildings too, but
yeah,
um,
that boats are a depreciating asset, the whereas the house is an appreciating asset. So it's at a certain point it goes to zero a lot faster.
yeah. So, was there anything I should have asked you about? I don't know. We were gonna talk about a whole bunch of stuff. I kind of just we kind of went down whatever path we went down. I have more free content. So if you're interested, I created a PDF guide and a video to go along with the PDF guide to complement it. And what the guide is all about is the 5 most common mistakes that Canadians make when investing in the United States. So if you're interested in this free guide, go to canadianinvestingintheusa.com/mistakes. And let's go back to the podcast. And it's free.
Well, I know that you're a Canadian investor in the United States, and I know a lot of the guys in my world are foreign nationals and stuff, and they they are always asking about investing in the United States, and I say it's not really complicated, but it's not exactly easy either to do it the correct way, depending on what you're going to do. And like we were discussing
Yeah.
before we got on the call, that really it all depends on what your plan is. I just wanted to ask you like some insight that you would have just for somebody starting out, where to get some research, as far as that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, with any of this stuff, a lot of times it is well, I guess it's pretty common sense, but a lot of people just skip that and they just
Yeah, common sense is not common.
yeah, they skip all the education
Yeah,
parts and just they're like, if I'm gonna spend this much some money on I'd rather get a return on my investment than spend it on some education,
yeah.
is a common thing. But there's some intricacies to all that. Um, I don't know. I'm kind of winging this with questions, but for investing in these syndications, is there any like red flags that people should be looking out for when they're, if someone's brought them a syndication to look at, just before they just say, yeah, I'm
Um,
in?
the red flags and things that should definitely look at. Number one is to vet the operator. Look at what their track record is. Look at what their relationships are with the other teams. How long have they been in business? Are they currently defaulting on any properties? Do they have any past defaults? And what did they do about it? Because it happens. Things there are. How many bad market cycles have they been through? Did they go through the global financial crisis? And what did they do? And how did they recover? Or what was their play in that? And then, one thing that I tell people is very important is, what is their communication style? Like, are they always communicating with you? Like, is it, if things go bad, are they going to just go quiet? Because for me, I am also, I invest in limited partnerships and syndications myself that are friends of mine. And, good, bad, or indifferent, I want to know what's going on, and if they just go silent or ghost you, that's not a good sign, because generally in my mind that would mean that problems are a lot worse than than they actually are. Whereas if they tell you, hey, we have a whole bunch of evictions to deal with because we had an issue with the plumbing. We had to, we're gonna have to redo these 30 units or what have you. I'd rather know and say, well, okay, there's probably a recovery time, and make sure that they have reserves to have any kind of catastrophic event. Just ask those kind of questions. But it's the 90% of it is going to be the operator. Vet the operator and make sure that they are on the up and up and they don't have any bad strikes. And if you get a bad feeling about their communication style, or their ego or something, you're probably right. It might be a good investment, but you want to make sure that their interests are aligned with yours. Make sure they have skin in the game, that they're going to lose if you lose.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
Yeah, great tip. Make sure that you have some sort of, like, if they're going to lose and you're going to lose. Yeah, because otherwise, if their incentive is the opposite, it's not going to help
Yeah.
you.
And if their incentive is to win and you win, then that's pretty good, because then they're gonna scrap and fight and make it work. And it's because it's what seems to have been forgotten over the last many years. It's about the residents and the investors. If the residents aren't happy, the investors aren't going to be happy. There's no way, because the residents start moving out.
Yeah.
The net operating income will go down. Then the investors' returns will go down, and then nobody's happy. So it's a fine line of how you can cut expenses, but you don't want the quality of the quality for the resident to go down. You want to keep that high and keep that bottom line number efficient. It's
Yep.
it's a tough, it's a there's people that are really good at it, they're good property managers, and they're very good at, and those are the ones that are usually good with people, because they're very good at communicating. Hey, this is going on. We're going to be doing on this side of the building, and it's going to be better for you guys once we get this. And it's all a relationship, people business. All businesses are people business.
And like, when people are ghosting anybody, everyone will always go to the worst
Yes.
scenario.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better just to talk about the problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Even I think it's human nature that you don't really necessarily want to come up with explain the problems before you have a solution to them. But if you don't, your investors are just going to be terrified.
Yeah. A guy I work for was, always, sticks out with me, and always gave me a lot of great guidance. He said, the toughest conversation you need to have first.
Yeah.
Because you just gotta eat it and say, hey, this is bad, because it's gonna eat you up, and that person's probably doesn't know about it, and they it's your obligation to tell them that these things are going on, because that they'll appreciate it later on, that, hey, this guy was on the up and up, and he fought all the way through it, and he still got me a decent return. That's my guy. I'm gonna stay with him.
Love that. Scott, before I let you go, you want to talk a little bit about your company, the Yachty podcast, any of your stuff? Just where can people find you?
They can find me at investwithscottkid.com, and has my podcast on there. Podcasts I've been on, properties and stuff that we invest in, and you can sign on and call me anytime if you have any questions. Also, I also have a Yachty Real Estate Investors investment group. It's open to anyone that wants to come in, not just people that work on yachts. That's what it originally started with, but we're open. We always like meeting more people and bringing more people in, and we all learn from each other, and we can, together we can go far.
Awesome. And you said it was a group. Like, is it an in-person group or like a Facebook group? Or what do you mean by group?
In person and a Facebook group. The main thing about our group is that there's, people can put their, whatever they're thinking, questions, but with the in-person groups, it's just purely networking, no soliciting. Just, you can always post your deals or what you're working on in the Facebook group, because, everybody needs some help sometime. We all do, we all get stuck on stuff.
Oh yeah, a million different situations that could happen.
Yeah. And somebody, hey, you could be the guy, hey, try this.
Yeah.
Oh, and you've been struggling with it for weeks. Somebody just comes by and goes, all you need to do is press F4.
Yeah.
I wish it was that simple sometimes, but sometimes it is.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
sometimes it's somebody knows the right person even, or just
Yeah,
somebody.
a difference. We always say on the boats, a different set of eyes. Somebody can, you've been struggling with some piece of equipment, and then somebody just comes by and looks at it and goes, "Yeah, all you need to do is do this. The reset button on the back." Oh, and that's usually after you've taken the whole thing apart.
Oh, awesome, Scott. Anyway, thank you for coming on the podcast. I really enjoyed our chat. And I believe I'm going to be coming on your podcast as well. So if you
Yeah,
guys
that'd be great.
who are listening, just you can just search Scott Kidd or the Yachty podcast, and you'll find an episode with me on the opposite. Or maybe you know what I'm going to do? I'll put the show in the show notes. I'll put the links to your
That'd be great.
podcast with me as well.
Okay, perfect. I'll do the same. Well,
Awesome.
appreciate you having me on. This was good fun. We're doing it again, so we'll keep doing it.
Love it. Awesome. Thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
That was a nice video. Bye.